Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss about cardiac output. Cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped out by each ventricle into the circulation per minute. Cardiac output can be calculated by the formula heart rate multiplied by stroke volume. Stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped out by each ventricle in the circulation per beat. Let us go through different causes which can cause increase or decrease in the cardiac output. Different physiological factors which can cause rise in cardiac output are, in case of male, anxiety, exercise, pregnancy, after meal, increase in the environmental temperature, in supine position. These are certain physiological factors which can cause increase in the cardiac output. Different pathological conditions in which cardiac output increases are severe anemia, polycythemia, hyperthyroidism, fever, in case of vitamin B deficiency, etc. These all are the factors which can cause increase in the cardiac output. Then different physiological factors which can cause a decrease in the cardiac output. It is in case of female, in standing position, at morning. In such conditions, cardiac output reduces. Different pathological conditions in which cardiac output reduces are fluid loss because of burns, hemorrhage, etc. In case of hypothyroidism, myocardial infarction, anaphylactic shock, congestive cardiac failure, etc. can cause decrease in the cardiac output. Now, let us go through regulation of cardiac output. Cardiac output can be regulated by two ways, that is control of the heart rate or by control of the stroke volume. Control of the heart rate is extrinsic autoregulation and control of stroke volume is intrinsic autoregulation. Then let us go through control of heart rate. Heart rate can be controlled by two ways, that is by cardiac innervation, sympathetic and parasympathetic innervation, which influences the heart rate, or by different cardiovascular centers which are located in the brain which control the heart rate. Heart rate is separately discussed in the different video of our channel. Now let us go through stroke volume. Stroke volume can be regulated by two ways, homometric regulation and heterometric regulation. Let us go through heterometric regulation first. In heterometric regulation, myocardial contractility varies. It changes with the change in the initial length of the muscle fibers according to the Frank-Starling law. So, it is independent of the cardiac innervation. In case of homometric regulation, myocardial contractility is independent of the initial length of the cardiac muscle fiber and it is dependent on the cardiac innervation. Let us go through heterometric regulation first. As I said that it works according to the Frank-Starling law. So here what happens is, whenever the venous return increases, end diastolic volume during the cardiac cycle increases. So increase in the end diastolic volume causes increase in the initial length of the cardiac muscle fiber. So increase in the initial length of the muscle fiber will cause increase in the myocardial contractility. So it increases the cardiac output. Let us go through certain examples of it. First is a respiratory pump, also called as a thoracic pump. During inspiration, intrathoracic pressure reduces. So it causes less pressure over the large veins. And there will be descent of the diaphragm, which causes increase in the intra-abdominal pressure. Both of this condition favors increase in the venous return. So increase in the venous return will cause increase in the end diastolic volume. Increase in the end diastolic volume will cause increase in the initial length of the muscle fiber, which increases the force of contraction of the heart. So it increases the cardiac output. Then cardiac pump. Vis a turbo. It refers to the forward push from behind, like myocardial contraction, which pushes the blood to the forward direction in the systemic circulation. And vis a fronti. That is, it refers to the suction force acting from the front, which pulls the blood from the great vein into the right atrium. So by this way, it increases the venous return towards the heart. Thus, increases the myocardial contractility by increasing the initial length of the muscle fiber. During the ventricular systole, what happens is it will pull the fibrous AV ring. So, because of the pulling down of the fibrous AV ring, there will be enlargement of the atrial lumen. So, enlargement of the atrial lumen will suck the blood from the vena cavas, inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. So, this way it will increase the venous return. So, increases the initial length of the muscle fiber, thus increases the cardiac output. Then, opening of the AV valve. Whenever the AV valve open, it will cause rapid flow of the blood from the atria into the ventricle. So it reduces the intra-atrial pressure, which also favors the blood movement from the great vein into the right atrium. Thus increases the venous return, so increases the initial length of the muscle fiber, thus increases the cardiac output. So these both are the example of vis a fronti, that is a ventricular systolic and ventricular diastolic suction. Then muscle pump. Skeletal muscle, when it contracts, it favors the movement of the blood towards the heart and increases the venous return. When the skeletal muscle contracts, at that time it will cause more pressure over the deep vein. Deep veins are connected to the superficial veins by the communicating channels. So, when the skeletal muscle contract, at that time the proximal valve will open and blood will move from the muscle towards the heart. So, increases the venous return. Whenever the skeletal muscle relaxes, at that time this valve will close and deep vein will be filled. Again, when the skeletal muscle will contract, the movement of the blood will occur towards the heart. So by this way, it increases the venous return. So increases the cardiac output. Then total blood volume. Increase in the blood volume will cause increase in the cardiac output, and decrease in the blood volume will cause decrease in the cardiac output. Then capacity of the venous system. Whenever the sympathetic activity increases, it will cause increase in the venous tone. So increase in the venous tone will cause increase in the venous return. So it will cause increase in the cardiac output. Then body position. In standing position, there will be peripheral pulling of the blood. So venous return reduces. So it will cause decrease in the cardiac output. Then ventricular compliance. Any disease, any condition which affects the ventricular contractility will cause decrease in the cardiac output. Anything which alters, which reduces the myocardial contractility will cause decrease in the cardiac output. Conditions like myocardial infarction, where ventricular compliance reduces, so it causes decrease in the cardiac output. Now let us go through homometric regulation. This is the diagrammatic representation. This is the graph which shows the correlation of the end diastolic volume with the cardiac output. You can see that cardiac contractility, when myocardial contractility increases because of the circulating corticolamines or by sympathetic stimulation or certain drugs like digitalis, It increases the myocardial contractility. So graph shift to the left. While in case of vagal stimulation, myocardial infarction, myocardial depression, hypoxia, hypercapnia, acidosis, certain drugs like barbiturates, all this causes decrease in the myocardial contractility. So graph shift to the right. Important points to remember. Define cardiac index. It is the cardiac output expressed as a function of body surface area. Normal value is about 3.2 liter per meter square per minute. What is cardiac reserve? It is the difference between a person's maximum cardiac output and cardiac output at rest. In a normal person, it is 4 to 5 times the resting value. Thank you.